So the big thing that everyone is talking about on my timeline, from CNN to US Weekly to Newsweek, is BP. For some of you guys that don't know about that, backpage, for lack of better words, being forced to censor their adult section. And let me tell you something. Everyone has an opinion about this. You know, everyone has a dog in this fight, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. I want to first of all start off by saying I am not advocating for sex work. I'm not defending my, right to do sex work, because I don't do sex work. And I want to clarify that right now. Even if I did do sex work, my opinion would probably still be the same. But because I know before we get into this video, people are going to be saying, "Oh, she's saying that because she does sex work." No, baby. I have different. I have all sorts of different hustles, and I have my hand in different cookie jars. So this is not what this video is about. What this video is about is the fact that people are coming out of the woodworks to shame the oldest profession in the world. And these are just some of the comments that I am used to hearing, like on my timeline and on the radio and whatever. You should get a job. Don't you want to do something else besides land on your back? All you hoes just got y'all pink slip. What y'all hoes gonna do now? What y'all hoes gonna do now since Backpage got shut down and shit? I don't feel sorry for none of y'all bitches, because first of all, I got a 9 to 5 and I'm good. I'm good all the way. You know what I'm saying? I got a 9 to 5, so that's you hoes. Don't you want something better for yourself than being a prostitute? I mean, I believe that my body is my temple, and anyone that puts themselves out and sells themselves for money, that just means that they don't love themselves. And they're just suffering from something a little bit deeper than they probably care to understand or admit. But anyone that loves themselves would not prostitute and put themselves on Backpage. It's time for you hoes to realize that you cannot go through life land on your back. You need to get up off your ass and get you an education. You need to get up off your ass and do something better for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you land on your back and prostituting yourself. What do you have to show for that, mama? What do you have to show for that? So, as you can tell, clearly everyone has a difference of opinion on this touchy subject that is, when you really think about it, it has been around since the beginning of time, because it is the oldest profession in the world, and everyone has, something to say about escorting. Even one of my girlfriends, even one of my good girlfriends, she basically told me that I should not do this video because what will people think? You should just stay away from, talking about the e-business because, people already think that of you anyways from being a trans woman, so you should just stay far, far away from that. Well, I'm not going to speak on my personal experiences on it. I'm not going to, speak on anything so forth, from my perspective or personally, a personal story. So if you think you're going to get a personal story from me, not going to happen. I'm going to speak on the realism of it, because I'm going to give you my cynical optimism about this situation here. This situation here is very touchy because people are already blaming Donald Trump and saying, "Oh, Trump, he's already getting an early start." No. This has been something that state legislators and the conservatives have been going for quite some time if you do your research, because unlike other websites like Craigslist, when they've been threatened by the state legislators, and they've been threatened by um, other outside forces trying to get them to, shut down their freedom of speech and their right to be able to, exercise our First Amendment. Basically, other websites like Craigslist, they've cowered down and they say, you know what, we throw up the white flag, we're shutting down our adult section and everything like that. But what people fail to realize is that this accomplishes nothing, because all this does is migrates and moves the traffic somewhere else. It's not going anywhere, people. And you think that the Republicans are the ones that are behind this? Honey, half of the time the Republicans are the customers that are buying the girls and the guys, No judgment here. But that's the truth of the matter. And that's the way it is. Even when Craigslist shut down, basically people thought, start panicking. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? The girls are up in arms. The hoes are like, oh my God, I gotta go to the streets. Honey, within a matter of days or so, people were discovering Backpage, or, going to Arrows or whatever, and discovering other sources of taking their services in other places. So all this is going to do is just push, these services and these type of businesses, adult content businesses, to other destinations. It's not going to shut it down. It's kind of like the war on drugs. I don't advocate, drug use or anything like that, even though I've had my own fair share of it. And I don't advocate, selling it or anything, but that, shutting it down, or, coming for the biggest kingpin is not going to just shut it down. It may, do something to affect that particular area that he's working in, but honey, it's gonna keep going. And the fact of the matter is, I think what people fail to realize is that the same people, or should I say the same girls that are making posts about, I'm good, I got a 9 to 5, I am good, y'all, that's y'all problem. Mama, don't get cute. Do not get cute, because if I remember correctly, I saw you in a post not even 7 months ago, saying about the fact that you were complaining about the fact that there's not enough money on Backpage and so forth. And all because of the fact that you decided to get lucky and you decided to, put your expertise in other ways. You got you a 9 to 5. And that is good for you. That is kudos. But don't shame the girls that are basically out there trying to make ends meet. Because let's face it, y'all. You may want to make all types of jokes as it is about the e-business, but this is a business where you can make anywhere, once again, not advocating, this is a business where you can make anywhere from 6 figures to $1 million a year. If you, cut out all the outside distractions like drugs, trade, and, other things that could possibly, deter you from getting other things done. But I've seen girls, because I have a couple good girlfriends that are professional escorts, make in a matter of 2 months 30 to 40K. I kid you not. So don't knock because you're not profiting or that's not your thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where the problem stems from. And then the guys, they're the worst. They're the, you hoes, y'all gonna get a job now. You know what I'm saying? So what y'all gonna do now? Backpage shut down. Nigga, if it wasn't for these hoes, you probably wouldn't have a sex life. Because let's be honest, a lot of you guys, when you're having problems with your main bitch, or you're having problems in your marriage, or you don't have a marriage, or you don't have no one because no one wants to deal with your bullshit or whatever. Guess what? You're going to BP, you're going to Backpage, and you're looking for a girl that you can go and you can pay for her time and her services. So don't try to front. And I think that is the problem that I'm having here, is that people are putting on this big front like they're so anti-BP when BP has pretty much benefited a lot of people. And let's be honest, who knows if this is going to last, And on top of that, for some of you that are living under a rock, this hasn't really changed anything, because all the girls are doing are basically moving their services over to the dating section, and if you don't know, there's a men for women, women for men, women for women, men for men, a bit of everything in the dating section. And the girls have basically taken over that area. And for the trans girls, there is a transgender dating section on Backpage that the girls have basically started posting their ads on. And this is the same thing that they do on Craigslist. They've taken over the casual encounter section, much to the dismay of, the cross-dressers and the transvestites. But let's call it what it is. I mean, they're probably the only ones that's pissed off, because let's call it like it is, honey. You got a 58-year-old, 9 times out of 10, closeted homosexual man that's basically putting on a wig, a Party City wig at best, calling himself, "Hi, my name is Samantha, and I'm a transvestite, and I love hung black cock." So that's fucking up his little hustle, because he's basically, free hosting for young black hot guys in his apartment, in his dark apartment somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And, he's probably having a success rate. So the girls coming into his section is basically affecting his hustle, because, no shade, hey, most guys will go with that option. They'll go with Samantha for free. But, honey, I know a lot of guys that will pull out top coin to go with the Maya Scott or the Sydney Star lookalike, if they had that option. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure this is going to affect everyone. And, the girls are moving into the massage section. They're posting. The girls are posting with their titties out, ass cheeks both out, risque and everything, flickering, saying, "I do full body massages, and I'm a certified masseuse." Now, Miss Thing, goddamn well you ain't been to no massage school. Only thing you gonna be massaging is something nice and hard in your mouth. But, a girl has to do what a girl has to do. But I think the bigger issue that I have here is the shaming part. Is nothing wrong if you are that type of girl that, or have a 9 to 5, or, my motto is, as long as you're not hurting anyone, as long as you're not fucking over anyone, then, hey, it's all a free game. You should be able to do what you want to do, and make your ends meet the best way that you see fit. So you can't really shame the next person on what they're doing, because not everyone can go to school and just basically get an education, go 4 years, pay that financial aid, and so forth. And then you get the people that say, "Oh, just get a job." And see, here's my thing with that. I challenged somebody on this years ago, because years ago when my music career was starting to fliddle down and it just wasn't popping like it was when it first got started, someone came in the forum that I was like expressing this view in, and this girl said, "Well, maybe it's time to get you a job, girl." So I challenged her. I said, "Well, girl, don't you work at Housing Works?" I mean, I have an outreach, background. I have a great customer service skills. Can you put in a word for girls since you're so quick to give the suggestion? Maybe you can help me execute getting a result, honey. In one ear, out the other. And that's the problem there. People are so quick to say, get a job, get an education, do this, do that. But they have no ways of, sure fire ways of explaining or executing that result. Because it's easy to say something, but quite differently to execute it. And just saying it does not, it pretty much does nothing if you have no sure way of getting that plan into action. And that's the primary problem in here. I know a girl that is basically overqualified for her skill to basically get a job, but she's trans and she's, for a lack of better word, not that passable. So when she goes to job interviews, people usually tell her some BS about the fact that they went with another candidate, she's overqualified or whatever, when the truth of the matter is that, they're judging her because of her personal appearance, and they're thinking about the overall presentation of the company and having her be the representation as a trans woman not being passable. And I can even go back to years ago when, I was looking for a waitressing job in LA, and I wanted a particular waitressing job. I didn't want to work at Denny's. I didn't want to work at no rinky-dink diner. Bitch, I wanted to work at, the places where you're pulling in like $600, $800 in tips a night, because that's the type of girl I am. And I had well enough qualifications for it, but I was going for job interview after job interview after job interview, and I had to really think to myself, is it because I'm trans? Is it because I'm black? It could be a number of those things, but it just wasn't so easy to get a job. So sometimes a girl has to do what a girl has to do. She has to hustle. She has to find other ways and other means to make ends meet. And for some girls, that making ends meet is BP. You know what I'm saying? And as I said before, the girls are moving into other sections in BP, so shutting down or censoring one section in Backpage is not doing that much because, my motto is, honey, where there's a section, there's a coin. Pretty soon, if they decide to shut down the dating section and the massage section, which is the main section that the girls are going to, then it's going to, be nothing for a casual Backpage user that is like in the market for, let's say, a vacuum cleaner, being in the household department, legitimately looking for a vacuum cleaner. And, let's say he's a married man and he's scrolling down, and he sees T.S. Tiffany Hoover throat sucking up anything and everything for $40. This may entice him. And mind you, he had no type of inkling or, was not even looking for that. But the fact of the matter is that because T.S. Tiffany Hoover throat, there's no section for her to advertise in, she has to go into whatever section she sees fit. So that's all this is going to do. You people that are basically coming up with these bright ideas of, let's shut Backpage down. All you're going to do is just move the traffic into another direction. And who knows? It may be for the good, it may be for the bad. You may have girls putting up Backpage ads or Backpage-like ads on Facebook. Actually, there's a couple of groups on Facebook already, like, honey, there's so much ass and tits out that you would think that you are in, like, the BP adult section of Backpage. So, like I said, I don't knock nobody's hustle, but all this shaming has to stop because we all start from somewhere. It is the oldest profession in the world, and whether you agreed with it or not, whether it is morally correct or not in your frame, you cannot knock down the next person or shame the next person for, you know, something that they are having to do to get by, especially when they're not hurting anyone, and especially when, honey, you're not making any type of contributions into that person for how they can better themselves out of that situation. My motto is, if you're not going to give a coin or give, you know, a job opportunity for a person to get themselves out of that situation, then honey, shut the fuck up and let them do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Now, on the flip side, and this is not me being preachy or anything like that, on the flip side, this is what it is. It is what it is. And you know, I am going to give it to you 100% the real. Let's see here. This is the flip side to it. A wise person told me this a long time ago. And actually, this is my life coach that told me this. She said, losers react, winners anticipate, meaning think ahead. So if you are going to be in the business, the e-business of escorting, or, you know, public companionship, just know that there's a time limit. There's a time limit because, you know, that type of business, it's all about the younger, you know, the newer, the fresh faces, and you can't compete with that when you're like in your 50s and you basically have Miss Thane over here that's like 21 with a flat stomach, and basically, she's basically selling it. And you know what I'm saying? So you have to think ahead. You have to create an escape plan for yourself. So you won't be doing this at 50 or 60 years old, because there is a time limit. And you just have to basically think smart. And as I've gotten older, you know, with what I do, which is basically, you know, I have all types of hustles. Y'all don't need to know that, you know what I'm saying? Just know I'm not hurting nobody, and it is legal. That's all y'all need to know. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that I want to work smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying? I want to do the least amount of work for the most amount of, you know, the least amount of work for the most amount of money. And that works for me. So, something to think about before you shame the next girl. And for some of you girls that are shaming the girls, I don't have to sell myself and everything. I don't have to do that. Just know that some of these girls that you're shaming, when you say that you don't do this or don't do that with your man, just know that sometimes your man may be okay with that, but he's going to go see that girl off her back page because she does do that, or she does do all these other freaky things that you don't. Just know, while you're shaming the next girl saying, I don't do that, that's nasty, I don't do that with my man, just know, right down the street, there's another girl for a certain price that will probably do all that freaky nasty shit that you won't do. So keep it cute, honey. And before I close out this video of this rant, I just want to say that I am not underestimating or, you know, ignoring the fact that there are some victims out there, like victims of child trafficking and child abuse. And I don't want to neglect that. But I do want to say that some of the people in the conservative field, they use that to their advantage when they know that's probably not the majority. The majority are, you know, girls that are basically trying to make ends meet. And for the most part, you know, I despise people that are using human trafficking and using children, you know, for sex work. So that needs to stop. But trying to do what you're doing now as far as shutting down a whole, like, section that people depend on as their livelihood, and then the girls that are people that shame them afterwards, it's wrong. It's not cute, and it's not going to solve anything, and it's not going to make matters any much better, because you're going to push the people back into the on the streets, on the strolls, where they're going to have to put themselves out in more dangerous situations, and then who you're going to blame. All right, so leave your comments, rant, read, like, subscribe, share. My cynical optimism, and that is my cynical optimism of this whole situation. See you guys later. Bye.